Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Law enforcement agencies are frequently helped in the apprehension of criminals by the method of operation used in committing the crime. Smart criminals attempt to counteract this intelligence by avoiding a set pattern of activity or by engaging in a confusing pattern. Such an operation was encountered by the Highway Patrol in March of this year. The criminals trapped the victims by posing as hitchhikers. Two of them were attractive females, completely opposite in physical appearance and mannerisms. However, they were alike in one respect. Both knew how to use a gun.
You got something?
Another holdup. A brunette walked into a filling station and said her car was out of gas about 2 miles down the road. As the attendant was filling the container with gas, the truck drove in.
How can a truck driver have money like that?
He wasn't a truck driver. He was a farmer. And he just sold 20 head of cattle for cash.
Well, this is no coincidence. This is a setup.
Either way, it was perfect. They struck up a conversation, and the victim offered to drive her back to her car.
It says here a mile out of town, she flagged him down with a gun, and that was it, huh?
As I see it, the only difference in these cases is the color of the gal's hair.
A girl can change the color of her hair faster than she can change her mind.
Or it could have been a wig.
What have we got on these people?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Exactly that. The gal appears, pulls the job, and disappears. All we have is the testimony of two confused and crestfallen male witnesses.
No vehicles used?
None reported.
Latent prints?
No.
Witnesses?
The service station attendant saw the woman. His description doesn't fit that given by the victim.
Yeah, that figures. All right, let's see. The blonde pulled a job on the border last month. This one was near Upper Valley.
30 days and 200 miles apart.
They've got to have a method of picking their victims.
They?
Yeah, this could be one woman, two women, or an organization. I'll take the organization.
So?
Contact the two victims. Get a description of everyone they saw over the past several days. Maybe we can put something together. In the meantime?
In the meantime?
We're stuck.
Several weeks later, a man who called himself Warren Childs had checked in at a highway motel many miles from either of the other crimes. He carried a sample case and represented himself as a salesman of costume jewelry.
Hello, Mrs. Johns.
Well, Mr. Childs, how did you get along today?
Not too well. Most of small-town merchants around here have turned thumbs down on stocking our line of costume jewelry.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. How do you do? May I help you?
I hope so. Do you have a vacancy?
Yes, we do. Would you like to see it?
No, I'll take it. Right now, I'm interested in something to eat. How's that restaurant down the street?
Well, this gentleman eats there all the time.
Well, I make it a practice never to recommend a restaurant. Every time I do, the other fellow gets a bum meal.
Well, I have to eat somewhere.
Well, then all I can say is I've been eating over there for the past 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to dinner right now.
That's good enough for me. You just wait till I register and I'll walk over with you.
Or you can do that when you come back if you like.
Fine. Let's go.
I'm Warren Childs.
I'm Doyle Houston.
Miss Johns, you keep your eye on my sample case?
Yes, of course.
Brought your customer, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Childs.
While Doyle Houston was setting up the next victim, the two female accomplices waited in the cabin hideout.
Hi, enjoy your walk?
Ah, it was wonderful. And that sunset. I haven't seen anything like that since I was 10 years old.
You just haven't been looking. We've had a lot of them since then.
How would you know? When are you going to stick your nose out the door and get some exercise?
I've had all the exercise I need this afternoon. I washed my nylons.
I always claim that the man that has money has an advantage over the man that hasn't. And I've proved it time after time.
Well, how?
Well, a consideration clause, for one thing.
What's that?
Well, in some of these land auctions, they insert a clause giving the seller 24 hours consideration as to whether or not he wants to sell. That's so that they can back out if they let the property go too cheap.
Oh, I see.
But if you've paid the full amount down in cash, they're stuck. It's your property, consideration to the contrary.
Well, if you're going to get that good night's sleep, we'd better mosey along. I'll take the check.
Not on your tin type. This is my party.
All right. If you'll have breakfast on me in the morning.
It's a deal. How about 8 o'clock?
Fine.
Boy, I'm glad we're not playing for money.
I wouldn't play you for money.
There's a car coming. It's Warren.
Are we in business?
Yeah. Man's name is Doyle Houston. He's carrying $2,500 in cash.
Where does he keep it?
In his inside coat pocket.
Good.
We're going to the restaurant at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll meet him and tell him that I have to go back and wait for a long-distance call. You go into the restaurant and take over from there.
The restaurant at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Now, both of you come back here and stay. I'll stick around the motel and restaurant until it's safe to travel.
Gin.
The following morning, the trap began to close around Doyle Houston, the man who had been foolish enough to tell a stranger he was carrying considerable cash.
Charlene, do you think Midnight Lure will work at 8 o'clock in the morning?
You'll do, with or without the midnight lure. Come on, we've got half an hour to get to the restaurant.
Sorry, Doyle, I forgot. I have to stand by and wait for a long-distance call this morning. I'll be back as soon as it comes in.
Oh, that's all right, but I think I'll eat and get on my way.
I'm sure sorry. Well, if I don't see you again, good luck.
Thanks. Same to you.
Bye. Bye.
You're in business.
Yes, miss.
I'm from the agency. Are you Mr. Adams?
No, I'm just Joe.
Oh, well, you did send to the agency for a waitress, didn't you?
Not me.
Don't tell me I've made a mistake. I'm sure I followed directions. I was to go to the first restaurant on the highway outside of Landfield.
I'm sorry, miss, but you're in the wrong town. Landfill is the next place west.
Oh. Wouldn't you know something like this would happen to me? And I was so sure this was Landfield. Is there a bus?
In about 2 hours.
How far is it?
About 17 miles. You could take a cab.
I can't afford that.
Oh, I'm going that way, miss. I'd be glad to drive you to Landfield.
Oh, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, why not? I'm going through there anyway.
Well, I'd certainly appreciate it.
Perfectly all right. Hard to imagine a beautiful girl like you working in a place like that.
Beautiful girls have to eat.
I have to go up north today, but I'll be back through here sometime tomorrow, and, well, if there's anything I can do,
There is.
Oh, what?
Pull over to the side of the road. Put your hands behind your back. Do as I say. Put your hands behind your back.
But this must be a joke. A girl like you just couldn't do a thing like this.
It's no joke. You make one single move and I'll shoot.
Everything go all right?
No, the guy tried to grab the gun. I had to shoot.
Any change in plan?
Warren says no.
Let's go.
An examination of Doyle Houston's car disclosed no obvious evidence. Patrolman Morse took the necessary steps to obtain more information on the victim.
Who is he, do you know?
His name is Doyle Houston. Here's a bill from the Highway Motel where he stayed last night. I found it in the glove compartment.
What about the coroner and the lab boys?
They're on the way. Headquarters is checking the license number to find out where he lived. No registration card.
Well, she didn't take the car, so somebody must have picked her up.
She?
Yeah. There's a faint odor of perfume in the car. That tells a story in itself. Look, I'm going back to the motel. You wait for the lab boys. Meet me there as soon as possible.
Right.
Come in.
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol. Did you have a Doyle Houston check in here last night?
Yes,
Was he alone or was there a woman with him?
he was alone.
Did you see him when he left this morning?
Yes, I called him at 7:30, and a little while later, he drove out. He went over to the restaurant for breakfast.
Well, thanks. I'll check the restaurant. If a patrolman comes in, tell him I'm over there, will you? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol. Tell me, was there a man in here for breakfast this morning about 8 o'clock? He was about, 5 feet 10 or 11, probably 165 pounds. He had on a light gray suit. Oh, he also had a mustache.
Yeah, I remember him.
Did he come in alone?
Yes.
Did he leave alone?
Well, no. He went out with the girl.
What girl?
Well, I don't know. I never saw her before. But, boy, was she a looker. Blonde, I think.
Where'd she come from?
Well, I don't know that either. You see, she'd been sent here to take a job as a waitress, but she was in the wrong town. And the man you're talking about, well, he offered to drive her to Landfield.
Oh, fine. Thanks for your help.
Was something wrong?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Boy, am I hungry.
Me too. It's the mountain air.
I'll be glad when we get out of this mountain air before I pick up another 10 pounds. You know, that's the worst of Warren's system, this hanging around the neighborhood when the work's done.
You picked the wrong word. That's the best of Warren's system. We don't make a move until he's sure it's safe to do so.
I guess you're right.
Lab boys had an expert check the perfume. Midnight Lure.
And?
DMV checked the license plates. 3016 got in touch with his wife. He was carrying $2,500 in cash on him.
Now we got to find out how the blonde knew he had it with him. There must be somebody around here saw her arrive on the scene.
There's some houses down the street. I'll go down and check and see if anyone saw her get out of a car that could be identified.
I'll recheck the motel. If we can find out where she came from, we might find out where she went. Let's go.
Right.
Yes, Mr. Matthews?
Oh, would you give me a list of all your guests? The names, addresses, license numbers?
I'd be glad to.
You see, Houston met a woman in the restaurant this morning. He gave her a lift to Landfield. We want to know if anybody saw that woman. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Was there anybody else up at 8 o'clock this morning?
The two maids and the janitor and myself, of course. And Mr. Childs.
Well, I'll talk to all of them. Start with Mr. Childs. Where is he?
Cabin 27 in the front.
Thanks.
Come in.
Mr. Childs?
Yes?
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
What a disappointment. Thought you might be a customer. What can I do for you, Mr. Matthews?
Well, this morning, a woman wandered into the restaurant. She was given a lift by a Doyle Houston.
And?
We're trying to figure out where she came from and how she got here. That is to say, what means of transportation she used. Did you happen to see her?
I'm sorry I didn't.
Did you know Mr. Houston?
Well, not until last night. He arrived as I was talking to Mrs. Johns. He said he wanted to know whether it was a good restaurant, and I told him I had to settle for just a restaurant.
Anything else?
Well, we had dinner together. He was quite a talker.
What business are you in, Mr. Childs?
Well, sometimes I wonder if I have any. Actually, I'm covering the small towns in this area, trying to sell them some costume jewelry.
Oh, I see. Well, I hope you make it. Thanks for your help. Well, I think we're hot. There's a guy at the motel I had dinner with Houston last night. He could have found out about the money.
Oh, yeah?
He also was with that gal Houston was with. I got a whiff of the same perfume.
Got enough to pick him up?
Enough to make him a suspect, though. Take a look. Here he comes. Are we going to stand around all day when we don't even know what we're looking for? Oh, how are you, Mr. Childs?
Hi.
We're looking for a woman.
What woman? We haven't even got a fingerprint.
Say, do you remember that girl was
I checked
here?
him. He doesn't remember a thing. She could be 200 or 300 miles away by now. I'm going back to headquarters. You go back on traffic duty.
All right.
Go a half mile east, pick a hiding place. If he comes out, tail him. Keep in touch with me. I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol. We need a civilian car to trail a suspect. Will you cooperate?
I sure would. Where's the suspect?
He should be along any minute. Would you mind pulling right over there? Suspect just drove by. I'm using civilian car for pursuit. It's a gray sedan. License number C for Charles, P for Peter, G for George, 397. Mind if I drive? back and call the highway patrol.
Yes, sir.
Tell them where you dropped me and how to get here. Tell them it's 1199.
What's 1199?
Officer needs help.
Do you need help?
I won't know till I get there.
How did it work?
Yeah, like a charm. We left him with nothing but a vague description of you by the restaurant operator.
That's good.
As the man from the highway patrol said, before she can be identified, she's got to be found. What about those clothes?
They belong to the owner. Come on, let's go.
I'll be right there.
Good police procedure indicated waiting help, but the criminals were moving. Immediate action was necessary.
All right, hold it. Drop your purse on the ground. Turn around. Put your hands on top of the car, both of you.
What's the excitement, Mr. Matthews?
Well, 2/3 of it's here. All we need now is the blonde.
What blonde?
I'm not going to make small talk with you. What kind of perfume do you use?
I'm sure it wouldn't appeal to you. It's called a Wayfarer.
I'll find out.
Satisfied?
Yeah.
Matthews, I think I proved in the city that I was willing to cooperate with the law at all times. And I resent being treated like a criminal.
Well, aren't you? I'm going to check the cabin.
Right.
All right, get over there. Let me have that bag. I imagine we'll find that the bullet from this gun killed Houston.
How did you know I was in there?
Your perfume. What you used to trap your victims trapped you. All right, turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Okay, go ahead. See the highway patrol in action again next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross, not on the highway. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.